solving this. So most of the organizations have this one here. This is usually the key one that drives most of the organization, where you have defensive versus offensive. And the defensive is where now you're looking from compliance perspective, regulation perspective. So it's geared usually to prevent data theft or data loss perspective. So that's one of the ones that, and usually you see this from public-driven companies or government-driven companies, where they are approaching the data strategy from defensive perspective. And then there's also the one, the offensive one. The offensive one is where now the company is innovative. They want to improve products. They want to be able to gain that competitive edge because they want to grow their customer satisfaction. They want to grow revenue. They want to business growth. So they are very much more offensive when it comes to data strategy, and they take that risk where they want to be able to put data from data as quickly as possible without a lot of other structures in place. The other one that we usually see is the hybrid, where you find the balance, which is the combination of both of them, where you have the balance from security perspective, and then you leverage growth with it. So this one here is also very common and usually one of the best ones there because you have best of breed. The other one that we usually come across is the governance and quality. So this is where now the data strategy is driven by the accuracy, the security, the compliancy. You want to make sure that the data quality is good before you can actually be able to put it out for the end users. And each one of these have its own shortcomings, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Then we have the collection and management. There's some organizations that take data strategy from how we're going to collect the data. Based on where the data is, the data collection becomes their strategy. So we are going to follow this route here because we want to be able to collect this data from here. It's coming from cloud, it's coming from AS400 mainframe systems, it's coming from here. So that drives how we are going to actually define our data strategy. So that's another one that we usually see there. And then there's some organizations that we do see where you want to get the low-lying fruit, right? Which is where we use the use cases or quick wins. And this one here is usually aligned with business goals, the customer behaviors, because we are working with specific customer, and that customer say that they are seeing this. So we're going to restructure our data strategy so that we can be able to cater for customer needs. So that's another data strategy that we usually see. And then usually you see this also for very small, quick projects where I just want this one to show just a quick win. And it has its advantages if you think about it, because at that point you want to demonstrate the value of data within the organization. So that's another one there that we usually see, and it has its place in an organization. Then we have technology and infrastructure. This one is a strategy where it's driven by what we have because we are in mainframe. So we're going to have our data strategy be defined by the systems and the infrastructure that we do have. So yes, it's ideal, but it also has its shortcomings because this decision, it does impact the usefulness of data because if it's just tied within specific technology, then at that point you are not really exploring other factors or other areas where actually you can be saving money from data storage perspective, or even the tools that you do have within the organization. So that's another strategy that we usually see with organization. And then the other one is human resources and skills. We're going to define our data strategy based on skills of the team that we do have. And this one here has its major shortcomings because again, you have situations where you are only driving your data based on the people that you do have. And it helps when you leverage partnership with other organizations, like for instance, consulting firms, so that you can be able to get the best of breed. Because now when you drive your data strategy, because based on the skills that the people that you have internally, they might be outdated, they might be lacking in some areas, hence you're missing out also from defining the best solution for the organization. And last but not least, we also see from innovative competitive advantage. So this is where the companies put their strategy based on predictive analytics. So we want to be able to improve customer experience. We want to be able to grow. We want to be able to maintain that competitive edge. So that drives our data strategy, or how we're going to be able to collect our data and be able to store data, because we only want to use this data to gain that competitive advantage. So any other data that does not conform within those walls becomes unuseful for us. So these are some of the key strategies that we see with different organizations. There are others out there, but the major ones, when we work with our different organizations, this is usually what we see.